Yes, it's your boy Gordy, and this is Flow Talk, Season 2, Episode 14, and I got B.Snair with me.
What up? What up? What up? Thanks so much for having me on, Gordy. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you for coming through. Shout out to Crispy Pig for bringing the homie in.
Absolutely. Thank you, Crispy. Appreciate Crispy always, man. He's everywhere. Just getting them crispy picks, always working, hitting the shows all over the place.
Yes, sir. So, I just met you, man. It's just kind of like a dope vibe. There's a few minutes that we've been talking outside of the camera here. So, B.Snair, tell the audience about you, who you are, what do you do, etc.
Absolutely, man.
Get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so I've been doing music more than half my life. I'm a multi-instrumentalist, mainly guitars first, a drummer, bassist, singer-songwriter. Do like all different types of genres of music, from hip-hop to hard rock to alternative, indie, folk, everything in between. And I'm also a producer and audio engineer. I think that pretty much covers most of it. There might be a few other things. Recently did a 50-50, shot my own music video with my homie Vincent DeSoro. So that was a newer thing for me. So you could say I make music videos too sometimes. So that's cool.
Yeah, man, that's dope. That's dope. Man. How long you been doing music for?
Probably like 22 years.
22 years.
Yeah. I got my first guitar when I was like 10, but I didn't get into it. And then my best friend started playing when we were like 13. And I just like, the moment he got like one riff down, it was this Incubus song. And I was like, you can do that? Like, I didn't think it was possible for like us to play like those guys, you know? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, man. And I was just like, yo, I need a guitar for real. And so my parents got me one that Christmas, and I just never stopped.
That's fire. So tell me a little bit about, I know you mentioned about the music that you do and what you touch upon and stuff like that, but you have your hands on a lot of different things, man. So what made you kind of like get from doing the guitar to being the production engineer and just touching upon everything?
Yeah, so I've been in bands since I was like 15. Started off in like heavy metal, death metal, and then moved to like rock, and got into hip hop. Basically, I always loved hip hop. I've been listening to all the old school stuff since like 4th grade. I really got into rap and hip hop, and I met Etheric, who I did music with for a while, and the guy was just so driven, man. Like, he was like, this is what I want to do. Every day I'm dedicating myself to making it, and making this my life for real. So he just inspired me so much. And I had just gotten out of a band a few years before that we went real serious for 4 years straight and put everything we had into it, 12 hours every single day on the weekends, missing family events constantly. Like, girlfriends would be, breaking up with us. Like, we didn't care. We went for it. And unfortunately, it didn't work out, So after that, it was just kind of like this, what do I do now, And I'd never been a solo artist per se, but I'd always like done my own music in the background, and at home kind of started recording myself when I first got, like Fruity Loops and like a old, it was a Dell, I think, laptop at the time. And I used to set a microphone up on my bed in my bedroom and have a few friends over, and we'd like try to track instruments and then, sing over it or rap or whatever. And I never really like looked at myself as a producer. But with that metal band, we actually went to 6 different studios throughout the course of like less than a year, and we dropped a lot of money, and we never got an album out of it. So I basically like
hurt my heart, yo.
Yeah, man. It's still hard, man.
I feel for you.
And I talked to one of the guys. He's still one of my best friends, the other guitarist from the band, and we're both just like, I don't really care about anything that happened at this point, other than like, man, we just don't have anything tangible other than some like crappy cell phone videos, So that really pushed me just to like stop, I guess, relying on other people. And
say that again.
So that really pushed me to stop relying on other people and just believe more in myself, because I was like, I don't need anyone else to do this. So, before I met Etheric, I had started saving all my money to get the equipment to record at home, to do live looping so I could try to do the one-man band kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because I didn't just want to be like acoustic and singing kind of guy. I wanted to do more than that. But equipment's expensive, so it takes a bit to get everything together. And then, like I said, I met Etheric. He was super driven and just like, I'm gonna put everything I have into it. So we hit it hard for like 3.5 years. We did some amazing things together. We got to do like a TEDx talk, bunch of really cool events for Special Olympics. Got to do 10,000 candles for suicide awareness. Like,
Fire.
yeah, some amazing things with music that really, those are my favorite things, because it's like, it's not about anything other than like doing something meaningful for other people. And when it's on that level, it's like the best feeling, So yeah, that was going well. And then COVID, man, so everything, we had months of shows booked and like we were getting on some tours coming through Boston, like some really big opportunities, and then everything shut down. So he, as a full-time artist, was like, I got to do something different. Like I gotta pay bills and rent and stuff. So he kind of stepped away and went into life coaching full-time, moved down to Texas. And again, I'm alone, right? So I'm like, damn, here we are again, like just me. So I just was like, COVID's still a thing and not a lot's going on. Let's just focus 100% on improving my skills. Let's be a better vocalist. Let's be a better musician. Let's learn how to produce and mix and master and record. And like, I spent a lot of time on forums, learning from friends that were already doing it, little tips and tricks everywhere I went. And the other thing too that, is important, like even in my younger days, I always paid attention when I was in environments that people were like above me in any way. Like whether it was like, just mentally, physically, emotionally, like musically, new different things. And I feel like a lot of people don't really take advantage of that. Not that it's take advantage, but like when you're in a space with people that are amazing or that are doing what you really want to do and they're already doing it well, like just step back and listen to these people.
Grasp it.
Yeah. Or, another thing that I had to learn in the last few years that helped me so much is ask for help.
100%.
I never wanted to ask anybody for help, man. And, now it's like if I have a problem that I can't figure out, like with recording or mixing or whatever it might be, and it's not like findable, I'll hit up a homie and usually they're like, yeah, do this, or I've been there, or I know this guy, I bet he knows. People love to help, so it's like there's no shame in that, and
I think
reaching
people
out.
are scared to help because usually what helps, it comes with an attachment the majority of times, and people are just like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean,
just learn it myself, and then they don't find the answer. But you're right, 100% ask for help.
Yeah,
you probably ask for help.
Yeah,
I asked for help plenty of times with the camera. I've asked a few questions with the camera before. Like,
I mean, if I was gonna take photos, I'm not a photographer, so I'd ask Crispy, for some advice, or one of my friends that does it. And I never expect like free either. Like, yo, teach me all this stuff for free, but just like quick things, it's like people are so like you said, like there's like this weird thing with just asking like, hey, can you help me with this real quick? Or do you know anybody that might help me with whatever I'm trying to do?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's just some knowledge is meant to be shared, not to be benefited off. I mean, it can be beneficial in a positive light, but at the same time, it's like when somebody would ask me, how do you do this? How do you do that? I would tell it to him. But it's up to him if he wants to execute it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's why I'm like, all right, you're going to go through bumps and bruises, but it's up to them. So, like, ask for help, 100%.
Yeah.
And my man said, COVID, I like how you started off. Everything kind of shut down. His peoples went left. He had to figure it out. And instead of just, sitting down and feeling bad for himself, he took the initiative and learned how to do things. He added more value to himself, which is huge, man. Huge. I can't tell you like how important that is.
Thank you, man. No, and looking back, it's just like it was so pivotal. You know what I mean? Because I had done like a few projects after like COVID with singers and different vocalists. Because again, I was always the music guy, and it just it never really worked out, or things got in the way, or it was like, I was so serious, like I'll dedicate every day to this, no problem. But it's hard to find someone that can even do that. Like people like, I just can't do that. Life is hard. I have a job. I have a boyfriend. I have a girlfriend. I have kids. I have, which I get that. That's cool. So again, it was just like, well, there's no reason I can't become a vocalist. Like, I'm already doing vocals for years. I just never took that step into like the front man or the forefront as a vocalist. It was always like singing with other people, doing choruses and harmonies or little things, and I needed to work a lot on my voice. So again, like, the internet's amazing, right? YouTube. So I watched a lot of YouTube. Yeah. And back even when I was with Etheric, we both were working a lot on our voice. So we took an online course that was called Breathing Boot Camp. Totally changed my life. I never realized I sang wrong. Up
so what
until
is it,
then,
like a class that teaches you how to control your breathing while you're singing?
Well, yeah, so it's like a series of videos, and you kind of go about it at your own pace. It's a lot about technique and then breathing and how to control your breath, which is what singing's all about, in rapping too. And then the proper like body dynamics of how to use things and stay open and relax, So like a really quick example, I never realized, but my whole life when I would sing, I would go like, "Whoa," and I would tense up like this and be like, all right, now I'm going to sing. You don't want to do that, man. It's horrible. Yeah, so you want to be like relaxed and like open up your chest and, have the right posture so that everything is kind of where it should be. And then, if you're just, it's like, whatever. That's way better than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just things like that were super helpful in that course. And it was a really cool go at your own pace, do it at night after whatever, for an hour a night kind of thing. And then it gave you vocal warm-ups to work on. So like every morning in the shower and driving to work, whatever, you just do these little 5-10 minute warm-ups a few times a day. And that really helped me, get to understand my voice and techniques better and how to control my voice. And I'm still working on it every day. I'm not a phenomenal singer by any means, but I've had a lot of moments lately where I've performed alone and gotten compliments on my voice, which was amazing.
Well, it doesn't have to be perfect nowadays either.
No.
There's artists out there that can't sing for shit.
No, and I mean,
because it's unique.
Yeah, exactly. But I had a lot of people tell me like years ago, like, man, you're such a good guitarist, but like you shouldn't sing. You know what I mean? So to come from that moment, basically on my own, and just making that choice, like, I'm going to really work on this. I'm going to put the time in because I'm not just going to be able to sing because I can't right now. So I got to, it's like going to the gym or whatever you want to do. It's like, if you're not already at that level, you got to put the work in. No tricks or, secrets are going to get you there really, other than just put the time in, so. Yeah, and it opened up a lot of doors for me. And lately I performed alone 3 times in the last like few weeks and keep getting more and more opportunities, so it's been amazing. And I stepped into a lot of projects as, a project in the sense that like I do music with other people, but it's not a 24/7 commitment like it was with a band. You know what I mean? So I play drums for an indie rock band. We usually meet once a week for 2 hours and practice, and then we've done one show because it's a more recent band I joined. But that's super fun to me, and there's not a lot of pressure because we're not trying to go out and tour, and we're not trying to make albums, and we're not trying. We're probably gonna make an album, but it's like it's not that pressure of like this is my goal for my career, And then what's been really cool about it is, being a solo artist, I don't have anyone else to like, well, you don't have time to dedicate to that because we need to focus on our mission. It's like, so I branched out and, this last weekend I played Concord Market Days Festival, which is really cool. 3-day festival. Concord. Yeah, which was awesome. And I do a 90s cover band. So I play lead guitar in that. And it was great, man. A lot of people came out and the rain kind of held off. And that's another band that we usually meet once a week for 2.5 hours. So to me, it's like something like that I can dedicate, a couple hours a week to and not have to be like focused on it all the time. Because with that band too, we're not going to record. We're just doing cover songs. It's just to go out and have fun and play songs people like and, can get into. And then with my buddy Vincent DeSoro, that's like my serious project, where we've been dedicated to this for close to 3 years.
Shout out to Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent DeSoro.
Is it Vince or Vincent?
Vincent.
Vincent.
Yeah,
okay.
Either one. Vinny.
We need you on the pod too.
Yeah, man.
We gotta make it happen.
Yeah, we'll definitely make it happen. He would love to come on. Great guy, man. He's out of the Boston area. I met him doing a show with Mosi G, which is I'm part of the Minds of One Collective Genius as well, my music collective. So we do like a fundraiser once a year, usually in the summer, and Vinny came out to that, and we just hit it off, man. I liked him a lot. I liked his vibe. So he was doing an album release, and he asked if Etheric and I would open for him. We're like, absolutely. And then a little bit before the show, he asked if I'd perform a song with him, and it was a super powerful song that was for his friend who I believe his son had passed away, and so it was a really big moment.
Yeah.
And we just like vibed.
It's so priceless, man.
Yeah, man. And we really vibed in that moment, and we came together, and we were just like, yo, we need to do a couple songs together. So we started working on that a little bit, and then just a little over 2.5 years ago, I was at my day job, and the entire building basically blew up that I was in with my coworker. Yeah, so
what?
Yeah, man. So there's a huge propane explosion, which I won't get into a lot, but I almost died. I was like in and out of it in the hospital for 10 days straight, and I guess I was talking to people and family, but I don't remember any of that. Got burned real bad, both my hands severely, 3rd-degree burned. Busted up my pelvis and my back, and my hip was shattered. So like it was crazy, man.
Bro, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Oh, thank you, man. No, it's all right.
How long ago did that happen?
It was March of 2022. Yeah, so like,
here,
2.5. Yeah, dude, I'm blessed, bro. So yeah, like I had a brain injury. Should have probably been paralyzed. My hands were really badly messed up. My coworker got trapped, so he was being burned.
Oh my god!
And I was trying everything to pull him out, and I couldn't get him out. There was a lot of the building had fallen in on him, so there was a lot of weight, and luckily, man, some guys from down the road from the local hardware store like felt the ground shake and saw the clouds of smoke or whatever. They came flying over, couldn't get him out. 2 local cops showed up, still couldn't get him out. And then this guy that was a local guy in town, always in this big not logging truck, but like a dump truck. He did Valley Excavating. I wish I could think of his name, but awesome guy. All those guys were amazing. They took that moment where like people were in emergency, and they just like acted. They all were getting burned with us, like they didn't care. So that guy had a chainsaw, man, and he cut my coworker free and saved his life.
By the grace of God, man.
Yeah, so
I got goosebumps, bro.
It was crazy, man. So everybody,
hold up, give me some minute here.
All right.
I didn't expect this.
I get a drink of water.
Wow.
Bro, I go to my mom's house that day, dude. I'm Lily, so it's like 5 o'clock, dude. I sit down, watching the TV, bro. And, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And like, yo, this kid's face pops up. And I was like, holy shit. I don't know if it was face or they said a name or some shit, but yeah, it was like, what?
Wow,
yeah.
wow. So your coworker, he survived, right? But
he did, man.
A lot of burns, huh?
He's amazing, man. He inspired me so much through my recovery. I mean, we inspired each other, but like, what a strong person, man. He got burned a lot worse than I did, and he always says that I got the worst of it for all the bones and the breaks, and I'm like, bones heal, bro. Like, I don't know how I can see in the camera, but like, I had to get skin grafted on both my hands, and those scars will be there for life. Like, they're pretty heavy scars, you know what I mean? And they took it from my thighs, so I got, big scars from where they took the skin. And
wow.
he had a lot more of that going on, and he's just amazing, and he's always like, nah, no big deal, like you had it worse than me, and we, we kind of give each other a hard time because
if he's seeing this, if you ever want to come and share your story, man.
Yeah. I'm not gonna drop his last name, but Tim, amazing person, man. He continues to inspire me, and he.
Wow.
We both had a long road, so we had a lot of support. The community really came together, friends, family, everybody donated money to a couple GoFundMe's to help us get through, and it was just amazing to see that too, and that really. When I finally woke up and like kind of understood what was going on, I had a neck brace on. I was tied to the bed because my hips were messed up, and I guess I kept moving, whatever, and I was out of it. I was on a lot of medication, and my brain was not working right. I had a brain injury, pretty bad one. So there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and my hands were wrapped up, whatever. And I just remember thinking like, is he okay? And then basically it really changed my outlook on life. I was already a positive person. I'd been working on personal development for probably like 3 years at that point, like pretty deep. I joined like a few different groups that like focus solely on that, and really like uplifted my life. I pretty much had quit drinking at the time completely, and now I'm coming up this October will be 3 years alcohol free. And you know, I'd gone vegan, which I'm still vegan, and like I'd done a lot of different things to really try to change my life and just, you know, uplift. And then the accident happened, and it was like another push of just like, man, I could be dead, you know, like I could be paralyzed. I couldn't walk for 4 months while my bones healed and stuff like that. And it just, and then seeing everybody come together to help, and just like my girlfriend at the time quit her job, was my 24/7 home nurse. So shout out to Hannah. She was still amazing, and like still helps me with stuff, you know, that I need help with. And it's like, I'll bring you to all your appointments and surgeries. And so, you know, it was just amazing, man. My family, everybody like really was there for me. And that made me realize like how things can change that fast, you know, and how precious life really is. So now I'm just on this mission of like, I'm chasing my dreams full speed, like nothing's
too short, man.
Yeah. And then I want to uplift and help everyone around me the most I can, and like try to get them to go after their goals. And like, you know, I do a little bit of like life coaching, just for like friends and family, and try to, it made me think when you said earlier, like you can teach somebody something, right? But you can't really get them to.
Yeah, it's up to them to execute it.
Yeah. So with like life coaching and like, you know, advice, I always try to like lead them to their own conclusion. So it's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do ever. No one should do that. And I'm not going to really give you like a straightforward answer, but like I'm going to kind of make the conversation get to a place where hopefully you see a different side, or you understand like, oh, now I know what I want to do, you know? So I liked how you said that, because it's kind of the same thing, you know, and you could teach someone how to do this and they could start a super successful podcast, right? Or
I hope so.
yeah, which is super cool, man. Or it's like, you know, they could do nothing with it, you know?
Yeah,
so
it's just, but the recipe for it is just to keep doing it.
Yes, exactly. So that's the other thing, right? So I have a lot of friends that, you know, probably still to this day are more talented than me, honestly. And they just never, you know, they never went for it because it's hard. You know, it's like you have to make this your passion every single day. You know, there's not like one day that really goes by that I don't actively work on my music, my goals, you know, booking, networking, music videos, editing, producing, recording. Like every day it's something, you know, even if it's like a few hours because I'm busy or whatever. But last night, like, or Sunday, I was like, I'm going to take the first day off in like a long, long time, right? I was super exhausted. Crispy and I did 3 shows in like, 16 hours or something. It was nuts. Mass, New Hampshire, played the market days. We played at Trend, New England, which was cool. And then I hosted an acoustic circle, which is like really fun time at the Forum Pub in Concord. So it was just a lot going on. So Sunday I was like, you know what? Like I've been gearing up for these shows. I've been practicing a lot. I've been doing all the different like 4 bands I'm in, you know, and all these things. I'm going to take a day off. So I took most of the day off, and then towards the night, I ended up finishing a song, sending out stems, you know, like, and I was like, well, I'm proud of myself because I almost took the day off, and I still like accomplished something, which I struggle with that, because it's, you know, it's easy to be like, I'm gonna go full force at this, but then you gotta eat, you gotta sleep, you gotta take care of yourself, you know, you gotta pay your bills, you know, so it's like, there's definitely a blend, you know, how do I go at this full force, but make sure that like I'm taking care of myself, I'm taking care of my responsibilities, you know. And
you have kids?
I don't. So I was just going to say, luckily for me, you know, I'm single, I don't have kids, and there's really no one to get mad at me other than myself, you know what I mean? Which though still, I'll be honest, like there's been times, you know, friends reach out a lot to do things, or to make plans to do things, and I'm just busy, you know, it's like I can't do that.
No, it's good. The reason why I ask is because kids can delay a lot of things, right? So
they can, yeah. And I
like
think
full force without kids, and that's exactly what you should do is if you don't have kids, go full force if you can. Obviously, you know, mental health is everything, and making sure you take care of yourself, as you said, is everything, you know. It's just, but
yeah, man,
it's just balancing it out, you know.
Yeah. No, and cheers to Good Dad Gang. I know Crispy's.
Man.
Shout
out to Turn.
Yeah. So, you know, I was just gonna say, I think if you do have a family and kids, you know, that's a different dynamic. Like, you shouldn't be spending 12 hours a day, really. You know what I mean? Maybe at certain times to like complete a project or something, but I've always struggled with that in my relationships, you know, with girlfriends and stuff. Just like, it's hard to really make this happen on your own without a lot of connections and without a lot of time. You know, even if you're super talented, you still have to network. You got to get out there. People need to want to work with you. You got to prove that, you know, you're going to show up and do what you're supposed to do. And that's the other thing. You know, I've been in some bands where it's like you're counting on those 4 people every time you go to play a show, and then all of a sudden the drummer doesn't show up. You got a room full of people. You got a venue that paid you to be there. You got a lot of things, you know, a photographer maybe you hired, whatever it might be, like all this stuff counting on these people. And it's like, it's hard sometimes, you know, because things do happen, but also people tend to, you know, go one way or the other eventually. It's like they're either going to go all in and really dedicate and be like, I'm all about this and I'm not going to miss this unless it's like dire, you know, or they're kind of like, well, you know. So again, to be like a single artist or a duo, I think it opens a lot of possibilities because there's not as many people involved to make things happen, you know?
Yeah, but you had to go through what you went through to get where you're at right now.
Yeah, man.
You know, and learn everything you need to learn.
And I just want to say, too, like, shout out to Vincent Tesoro again, man. So kind of to round up on that. So I came to in the hospital. I understood kind of what had happened. I learned that Tim was recovering. He was, like, unconscious in a coma at the time. So that was really scary. And, you know, friends and family were like, you know, showing up, and my girlfriend and my family were constantly like visiting me. And once I kind of learned that like Tim was going to be okay, and then they were telling me like, you're going to be able to use your hands again. It's going to be a while. You're going to have a lot of surgeries, you know. I had like 12 surgeries in a year and a half between my hips and hands. So a lot of things, you know.
Didn't know if you were going to play music.
Yeah, it was pretty scary for me, man, because that's always kind of been my passion. And this is another thing I tell everyone. It's like, I play music because I love it. And if nobody cared that I played music and no one was ever going to listen to my songs and nobody cared it ever, I would still do it because it just makes me happy. It's always been something that's a part of my life since I was like a young teenager. And, you know,
that's who you should do it for at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. And it's because I love it. So, you know, getting to play for people and then they enjoy it is like amazing on top of that. You know, getting to perform at amazing places, you know, like doing ceremonies for people to celebrate things or for awareness and to raise money. You know, that's like the cherry on top. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like you got to do what you love to do if you really want to like take it to that professional level or do it every single day. You know, it's like, if you don't love what you're doing, then what are you doing? You know what I mean?
100%.
So yeah, just shout out again, Vinny. So, you know, I when I first talked to him, we had just started our first song together, and it was kind of like, oh man, you know, this guy's a very driven, motivated artist. He's dropping songs left and right. He does not mess around, you know. And it was a huge opportunity to work with him. He had been vested in the game much longer than me at that point, especially in hip hop. And like, you know, he had done a song with Mayday, which shout out Mayday. We'll talk about that soon. But, you know, he's just an awesome person and a great artist. And I was like, you know what I mean? Like, here goes my opportunity now. I don't even know what's going to happen. And I'm not going to hold him to wane on me or anything. And he was just like, bro, it doesn't matter. Like, when you're ready, we're going to do it. I don't even care. And that was like a moment, like I started crying, you know, because I was just like, whew, that was kind of.
You needed that.
Yeah, yeah.
You needed that.
Whew, yeah, breathe, not to get emotional again, but yeah, like.
Breathe.
You know, I'd felt like after COVID, you know, it was like, man, this was the third time in my life that I almost kind of was getting somewhere seriously, you know. And then boom, gone. And it was just like, come on, man. And then with Vinny, it was like, all right, here we go, man, like full time. Sorry, I got stuck on the chair. You know, here we go. And then it was like, and he was just so supportive. He was awesome. Again, like I said, my girlfriend, Hannah, just amazing. You know, my parents, everyone around me, my aunt and uncle and close people just were super supportive. And
I was just saying, shout out to everybody that supported you.
Yeah, man, seriously. And
shout out to everybody that was there for you.
all the people that donated and just, you know, was there for their time and support, all the doctors and surgeons, like, you know what I mean? It's like I had to learn a lot of things again. And by the time I was able to walk again, I couldn't walk because my muscles were atrophied. I'd been off my leg, you know, for 4 months, and then also had major trauma to the bones and everything. So it was a year and a half of like physical therapy, occupational therapy. I had to do speech therapy. I had to do brain games to try to get my brain to work right again. I had really bad short-term memory loss. So it was a lot of things. And again, he just super supported me through that. And so did, you know, my family and my friends that didn't really have a lot of friends, you know, close to me at that time, but like the people that were just really were amazing, you know. And now looking at it now, it's like we were able to start dropping music together, Vinny and I, October 13th, Friday the 13th, which I dropped our first single because of the moon phase. I'm super into astrology and all that. So it wasn't really like, oh, horror movie stuff. The moon around that time was in a very interesting phase, and like there was a lot going on. I'm not going to speak on it because I'll probably mess up what was happening, but it was just a cool time for that. And we dropped that song, man, and it started blowing up in Europe. So it was kind of wild. And before we knew it, it was like we had all these opportunities for radio play in Europe, and then did a few.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we did like a few podcasts, and we got to get on indie Euro radio. Super cool. We did a podcast through the, you know, Zoom with them. And it just, again, goes to show, like, not only did I make that choice to, like, I'm not going to let anything hold me back. The moment I can, like, use my hands, I'm going to get back to it, you know, and I did. And then I'd have more surgeries. I'd have to wait, recover, go through the PT again and all OT, go back at it again. But I also had a great, you know, circle. And, you know, Vinny was super amazing to support me in that. My girlfriend at the time, again, Hannah, was incredible. She was like, you sit there and do whatever you need to do. You know what I mean? Play the guitar if you're able to, and like, that's your thing. So like, you know, it was just really amazing. And again, blessed to be here, man. So it not only made me want to just help everyone around me and even strangers more than I felt like before, but also like, I'm here for a reason. So like, I want to show people that you can overcome crazy stuff. As well as like trauma, you know, we didn't even get into any of that, but like drugs and alcohol and a lot of other things I've been through with that kind of stuff. And, you know, there's always like another side to everything, right? So it's like, you know, don't give up on your dreams, man. Keep going, right? You know, and even with Vinny and I, it was like we had a lot of setbacks where we really didn't have the money to pay for like certain things that we needed. I didn't have all the equipment yet. He didn't have all the equipment, and the first track we dropped was Manifested Dreams because there was tons of setbacks. And it wasn't even supposed to be the single to drop. That was supposed to come way later, like 5 songs deep.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're going to pause on that part. Right. So first of all, before we get into playing your song, it's got to take a break, man. I got to give you some love, bro, for everything you went through.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. Go left side, heart to heart. Yeah, bro.
All right, so again, I want to give a shout out to everybody in his circle that let him, helped him get through what he had to go through, not by himself. You know, had a support system. So shout out to everybody here. But we're gonna get into the middle part of the segment. We're gonna play one of his songs, see what it is. This is your part where if you wanna make sure your phone's connected.
Yes.
And then you do the intro of your track.
Yeah, so we're gonna play the music video first.
Let's do the audio first.
All right.
And then we'll do the music video at the end.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna play Higher Ground. This is Vincent Tesoro and I's newest song featuring Amir Max. It is fully self-produced, self-recorded. I made all the music, all the instruments you hear, and the beat, everything myself. And then Vinny recorded his vocals. Actually, Vincent and I re-recorded our vocals in mass for this one, and then Amir did his own. But on most of the other tracks, we did everything ourselves. You know what I mean? We moved into that phase. So, yeah, here's Higher Ground. Hope you guys like it.
Higher Ground. Check it out. That was Higher Grounds.
Hope you guys liked it. Appreciate you
Go
checking
ahead
it
and
out.
what's the information on that? Higher Grounds, who produced it, who's on it?
Yeah, so I recorded and produced the music, and then Vinny co-produced. We usually send everything back and forth, and then he wrote all the vocals for his verses and the chorus and the hook and everything. And then this is actually my debut song as a rapper. I've always kind of messed around and freestyled and like with the theoric. A couple times I rap live, but like never actually stepped into dropping a single or a song as a rapper. So the end of the song, the last verse is actually me, which was a really cool moment. Vinny really helped push me to do that. Again, one of the other things I wanted to touch on is like, it's really hard to be confident sometimes and to believe in yourself, and he really helped me with that a lot. And I realized, like, I don't know if it was before we got on the pod or not, but you kind of talked about everyone's like has a uniqueness about them, and I always wanted to sing like a certain person. I always wanted to sound like somebody, not me. So he really helped me find,
Your sound.
yeah, and just like realize like I could do a lot more with my voice. So when we would be recording together, he'd be like, yo, dub that or do a harmony. No, sing high. And I'm like, I can't sing high. He's like, you could do it. And he'd help me find that place, you know, and it really just pushed me to believe in myself and realize like, oh, like I could sound like B.Snair and that's okay. You know what I mean? I don't have to sound like Dallas Green or, you know, the dude from the Lumineers or whatever, or a certain rapper. So it was just a big moment in the last like year and a half to really step into that and be like, my voice is my voice and it's unique and I need to own it, you know, and just accept that and do the best with what I was given. You know what I mean? 'Cause the voice is an interesting thing. It's like you can learn a lot of skills and a lot of talents, but your voice is your voice in a way. You know what I mean? And you can definitely mess with it and emulate it and sing different things and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's like you can't really like change your voice. You know what I mean? So that was just a cool moment, to release this song. It just came out June 20th. So we dropped it. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. And we got the project coming out soon. We haven't announced it yet, but we dropped Aurora, which was an instrumental my first instrumental I put out, self-produced and recorded, and then shout out to Shane at Loud House Audio. He used to be out of Boston, but now he's down in Myrtle Beach. He does a lot of our mixing and mastering, and then also our buddy Michael Vieira, mixed by Mikey something. I think he's out of Rhode Island. Honestly, I don't know. He might be New Hampshire. I don't know, but he's New England, and he's awesome, man. Those guys, got to give credit to those guys. You know what I mean? Because we always have the vision, and like we're very particular with trying to have our songs basically be a final mix and master before we send them, you know, for any extra touches. But those guys just really were cool with us, you know, and they were willing to work with us to like do 3 versions and be like, we don't like it. You know, it wasn't what we were going for. So again, there was a lot of like, we're not going to settle, man. Like we want it to sound a certain way. We want to be a certain quality, and we want to put out good music that we're proud of. And I feel like in my past projects that I put out, we never pushed to that point. It was like, we believed in ourselves and we believed in the music, but then the recording session was never like what we hoped for, or the final song to put on streaming and all that, or the CD like wasn't really. So this time it was like we didn't stop. You know what I mean? Most of it like happened pretty naturally, but there was a few tracks that, you know, we had to really work for it to get it to where we wanted it to be. And I had to learn a lot, you know, to really understand like how can I get all these instruments to sound really good without having the $1 million studio and without having thousands of dollars in rack equipment and all this stuff.
To manipulate the different frequencies and stuff.
Yeah, and just like get the tones for the guitars right and get a big sound and have, you know, you want to have that bass, you want to have the 808, you want to have like that bump, but you want to have clean vocals, you want to have the instruments like sitting in a nice mix. You don't want it to be. Yeah, so it's like a lot goes into that, you know what I'm saying? So again, we just felt like nothing was going to stop us to get to that point, and like anything can be better, of course, but we're really proud of the music we've been putting out since October, and we've dropped 3 singles and 2 EPs, and then the next EP is going to be coming out in August, which is definitely more higher ground. That's going to be on their vibe. It's like reggae, hip hop, you know, maybe a little bit of rock kind of, but definitely like main theme is reggae hip hop vibes, which Vinny and I both really love that kind of music. And I've been into that, you know, Bob Marley and stuff since I was a kid. And my parents, shout out to them too. You know, I grew up very musical in the sense that they didn't play, but there was always music on, always radio playing, always, you know, my dad would crank the tunes, classic rock, you know, Rock 101 and stuff like that. And then when I got into playing music, they were super supportive, you know, 10, 11, 12 at night, I'd be cranking the guitar, probably sounding terrible in the first, you know, couple years. And like, I remember my dad would like, all of a sudden I'd hear like, I'm like, you know, open the door and he's like, hey, everybody in the house is trying to sleep. It's like 1 a.m. Can you just turn down? And I would be lost, you know, hours straight, just trying to do whatever I was working on, or I wanted to play a certain way and I was trying to get there, you know, and put the time in. And they were really cool about it. I mean, I remember band practice in my bedroom, full drum kits, double bass, 2 guitars, half stacks, you know, pictures falling off the wall downstairs, and my parents would be like, "It's cool," you know, and they were really awesome like that. So that's important too, you know, to have. They did believe in me for sure, and they also supported that, you know, and it's just really cool because
awesome,
yeah, if I didn't have that, you know, I don't know, like I had to put in, you know, they say that to become like a professional anything, you have to do 10,000 hours, you know, to master something. I definitely put in 10,000 hours on the guitar, whether, you know, it's practicing, performing, recording, playing. And that's another thing that I love about music is like you never finish. Like, you know, it's not like anything else, like a video game or whatever. It's like, oh, I beat the game. Like, you're never going to beat the game. I could always get better at my instruments.
Unlimited.
I could always, make different music or try to, you know, do that thing better or improve on whatever, you know. So that's something I've always enjoyed too, because it's like, since I really got into music, it's always been something to look forward to and to work on. You know, and that was a big part of the accident, was like, once I realized eventually I can get back to that, it's like, okay, well, since I was a teenager, that's been really the only solid, consistent thing that I could always count on in my life, was like, no matter how messed up everything was and how bad things might be, I could pick up my guitar and sing a little bit or play some tunes or make something up. You know, and that's been a huge emotional outlet, and like for me over the years.
Your own world.
Yeah, man. Or sometimes I didn't know how to talk about stuff. You know, like I kind of hit on the trauma a little bit, but like I've been through some wild stuff with family and relationships, and like, you know, losing friends to overdoses, and like seeing people really go downhill bad, you know. And
I think everybody has lost a friend nowadays. Like,
yeah, man.
I don't think there's not anyone in this world.
So sad, man. You know,
well, especially in the state. I mean, there could be people that haven't lost anybody because, you know, the family's not in drugs, but
yeah,
I gotta say, like 1 in 3 people have experienced either a friend or a family member that.
Yeah,
lost,
man.
You know,
and it's
shout
sad,
out to those.
Yeah, shout out.
Sober living and trying to get out of that, man. That's hard, but
peace and positive vibes.
Absolutely,
to you guys,
keep the grind going. You're not alone. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So you're in MOCG.
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 Yeah, so you just say MOCG.
I met Just for Kicks a few years ago. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Yeah.
He did a show. I remember him doing a show vaguely. This was a long time ago when I first was starting Flow for Your Die and all that. So I met him. He's a cool guy. You know, it was just, you know, he was doing his thing. And time passed by.
Shout
and
out
stuff,
Just for Kicks. It's my homie.
So do you guys have? Can you explain what MOCG is for the people that don't know who it is? Because Michael Murphy touched upon it a little bit.
So MOCG stands for Minds of One Collective Genius, and it's a music collective. And our primary goal is to support the scene and each other. I guess like in the basicest form, the idea is that I'm a musician, right? So if one of the rappers in the collective wants to work on a song, but maybe doesn't know any musicians or couldn't afford a beat or doesn't have anyone, he's like, hey, would you mind playing guitar for a track I'm doing? I'd be like, absolutely, no cost. You know what I mean? And then the idea was to create a studio where we could support other people as well outside of the collective that can't afford to do this, because it's very expensive. You know, making music is not cheap.
I don't know.
And to get the equipment, to get the right stuff, you know, it's huge money. So, you know, with the collective over the I've been in it since 2018. Just for Kicks and 13 Ball, kind of the two captains of the collective.
Is that Ian?
Yeah, Ian DeLorme.
Yeah, I met him briefly.
Awesome guys, man. Those guys.
I remember that name. I mean, I'm sorry if I remember we chopped it up a long time ago. I'm sorry if you know, it's been a while, bro. So like, I can't remember everybody, but that name.
You got right on it, bro. I mean, I don't know why you're apologizing.
No. It's just like, sorry, like I'm saying like it's been a while since I talked to him. You know,
I got
like,
you. Yeah,
you know, so
yeah.
It's like,
yeah, so those
shout out to you,
great,
13.
man.
Was it 13 Ball, right?
Yeah, 13 Ball.
Ian,
absolutely,
shout
man.
out to you.
Yeah, so you know, those guys were able to start like a whole fundraiser and put together, you know, a whole campaign basically to build a studio.
That's dope.
So in the MOCG collective, you know, basement, there's a full studio that's got everything you need, you know, to make beats, record vocals. There's a vocal booth. You know, it's a really chill, cool space. And I know that Just for Kicks and 13 Ball and like Life on the Rise, another member of the group, a few of those guys have definitely gotten together with like some younger, high school kids or maybe early 20s that just can't afford to record, don't really maybe know what they need to do, and just brought them in and helped them,
That's
and
dope.
yeah, so that was the whole idea behind the collective, and then also to grow a community, where we can give back, but also like bring, our music and our peace and love and energy and like vibes, to the communities, and share that with everyone, So like I mentioned earlier, every year we do a fundraiser. I think this year it's going to be in September, but normally in August, and we pick a charity and we just raise money for that charity and donate the money. Last year we did the Londonderry Town Commons, which was really cool, and all the money that was raised went to the Londonderry High School Marching Band. They were in a competition to go to London to perform.
Oh, that's dope.
And they got the opportunity, but they couldn't afford it. They didn't have the funding through the town or the school. So, we just tried to push to get them to, get there.
Yo, shout out to y'all. That's fire.
Oh,
yo.
thanks, man.
OCG, like that's crazy. Like, I mean, again, I've seen like the logo. I never knew what it was. So
yeah,
now that you're explaining it, that's dope.
Yeah, thank you, man.
For
Appreciate
people to come together and kind of get this idea of helping others, where they they don't have the resources or the funding for it, and just we talked about it yesterday. So having a platform to get started. You know what I mean? And that's one of the reasons why I created the platform was for that reason.
Absolutely.
So that's dope. Shout out to y'all for that. Shout out.
Thank you, man. Thank
OCG,
you.
they doing the thing. Conquer Londonderry. Shout out to y'all. Anybody who's in music or you're trying to get into music or anything and has any questions, reach out to them. They're a great resource.
Yeah, man. I run the social media with a few other people, and I just actually was having a conversation with a dude that I don't know. I think he was in Baltimore maybe, but he hit up the page and he was like, "Hey, would it be possible to practice sometime with you guys?" And I was like, "Yeah, where are you from?" And he's like, "Well, I live out here." And I was like, "Well, we're in New Hampshire and Mass, So he was like, "Damn." And then I just asked him, "What do you need, man?" And he was like, "Well, I just feel like I'm not motivated. I don't know what direction to go in." So I just kind of been chatting with him, trying to give him some, what do you want to do,
Yeah.
So he's kind of like finding his sound, and I kind of want to make music like this. All right, so dig into that music deep and try to get yourself immersed in it. That's another big thing that I've really come to learn is like whatever you want to kind of sound like usually is influenced by what you really love. So like the newer sound that we're going with was our initial sound we wanted to create, but we wanted to tell our story. So the first two EPs, actually, again, another crazy thing, if you listen to them backwards, so there's Endless Mirage was the first one that we dropped, and then, I gotta make sure I have this right. Right, Endless Mirage, and then, I'm gonna have to look. But yeah, so Endless Mirage was the first one we dropped, and then, sorry about that, I gotta look real quick. Edge of Existence. So if you listen to Edge of Existence from the last track to the beginning and then do the same, it's just two tracks on each EP. It tells a story, but it tells a story backwards on the EPs, right? And that story is totally like Vincent and I's trauma melded into that music, like what we've been through with, like we just talked about, losing friends to overdoses, our own battles with drugs and alcohol. Vincent almost died as well. Neither of us technically, should be here. I don't want to get too deep into that, but he overcame some crazy stuff too, man, where like he technically shouldn't have, you know what I mean? So like definitely feel like we both are just like, this is meant to be. We were meant to meet. We were meant to do this, not just because we love music and because we want to make that, a bigger part of our lives or our career, but also like we want to share our story and help, in the hopes to inspire other people. You know what I mean? And like, that's one of those things too, like with the collective, if somebody reaches out, like we're going to try to help you, and it's like, obviously we can't help everybody because there's a million bajillion people, but with the right opportunities, or even if it's just like hit up the the Facebook or the Instagram page is more active, someone's going to hit you back and be like, yeah, like, let me point you in the right direction, you know, because we just want to share that. Like, we all love music. We love making music. We love performing. And we love that energy that comes with all that. You know, people getting amped up, people getting excited, people dancing, having a good time. You know, it's like, I love doing the ceremonies and the giving back with all the fundraisers and all that. And probably right behind that is seeing the shift in an entire room of people that are just kind of like, yeah, you know, I'm living here. And then you just see them just, you know, and everybody gets into it, man. It's like, that's why, you know,
music does to you, man.
Yeah, that's why music is a universal language, because even if you don't understand the words, everybody can come together and just vibe, you know. And it's even scientifically proven super cool that during a concert, everybody's brainwaves start syncing. So there's actually a real collective.
That's crazy. I never heard of that.
Yeah,
I mean, you see it.
man.
Obviously, you see it.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
So
you see it.
It's a real collective consciousness that's forming, you know, at an event like that. And there's other things that in group settings that cause that as well. But music, I think, is the biggest one. And it's the fastest to get there, you know, for like a giant crowd of people. So yeah, just amazing, man. And, you know, it's been really cool to do a lot with those guys over the years. And, you know, we're all like New Hampshire, Mass based, so we're pretty spread out, you know. And the last year's really been, you know, or not like year, but like probably in the last year has really been a time of growth for all of us. You know, shout out Just for Kicks, is getting married soon. So that's a big life shift, you know. And then a lot of people in the group have gone kind of their own directions for projects or different things they're doing. Jay Faith, shout out Jay Faith, is amazing, man.
I know that name. I think I have him on Instagram.
He's got the Right Minds podcast, Mind Wednesday.
Yeah.
He's been doing that for a couple years now. And talk about like going after it. You know, one of the last times I saw him, it came up somehow, but like he started off in like, I think it was his bedroom or like his living room, or was it at the studio? All right, so he had a space, but it was with a cell phone.
Okay.
Now,
shout out to Jay Faith, man. Let's exchange episodes, brother.
So it's just cool because, you know, it was just like, I'm going to do this with what I have. You know, that's another thing. Like, I don't have a crazy phone. I do all my videos with the iPhone 12 because it's what I have. I don't have an expensive camera, but for all my little cover songs I post and like little clips of like behind the scenes, like,
you need that
man. And that was something Gary V, shout out
Gary V,
you know, amazing, just motivational, inspirational dude. He was like, stop waiting, do it now. Like whatever you have, do it now, you know. So I look at that now with everything. I'm like, you don't need the best camera, you don't need the best equipment, but I mean, with some things you need certain things, but like if you have something that you can use to do what you want to be doing or to start pursuing it, do it now. You know what I mean? I wish that I went on this path I'm on 10 years ago of like, nothing's going to hold me back. Nothing's stopping me. I'm going to do this on my own and bring the people with me that I want to see win and that I have a good connection with. You know what I mean? It's like, I probably would be in a totally different place right now, but that's okay because I realize that now and that's what I'm doing, you know? And so people like Crispy too, you know, he's super supportive of me.
Crispy's the fucking man.
He's the reason I'm here tonight. So like, you know, yeah, Crispy is the man.
Shout out to Crispy, bro. Crispy
absolutely.
Always coming through, bro.
Like I said, man, he's always working, but he's also very supportive and he's a great, you know, friend. And he's the reason that I'm on your podcast. You know, he reached out, asked me. And
ever since Crispy's been on, man, he's been reaching out, sharing things, using my, you know, the Flow Free Die fan club group to post, you know, everything he's doing. Is exactly why I created it.
I love it.
Take advantage of it. So it's there for it. So Crispy's always, my phone is blowing. Crispy pick, Crispy.
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing, Crispy, because you're doing it well. And at the end of the day, it's the hustle, the drive that you're showing everybody. And people can get tired of it. I don't get tired of it because I fucking love it. That's why I created it.
Hell yeah. And also, you know, I mean, just on a friendship level, the dude's awesome. Like,
absolutely.
Since I've gotten closer with him more recently, you know, like every day he's like, how you doing? What's up? You doing all right? What's going on? You know, and it's like, yeah, bro. And Vinny and I don't care about a bet. Yeah.
The bag. Here's the thing about the bag. It's gonna eventually come later on. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's a human level. You know.
That's my friend.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, so I
100%.
appreciate you, dog. For
I
real.
met Crispy at a show I did called the Connect Effect. So I decided to do like kind of like a networking event for collaborators, content creators.
Oh, love that.
It's something to, because there's a space, there's people for it. They just don't know where to go.
Yeah, dude.
Especially in this area, right? So it went really well. The event was awesome. But,
That's
so
dope, man.
Crispy, we met through there.
Yeah.
And actually, no. Well, we talked there, but we saw each other at Jewel.
Okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
I
cool.
think they.
Like the first, like, hi.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Conversation.
Yeah. So,
Real conversation. What?
yes.
Wow. Right on.
Passing.
Yeah, we see each
Yeah.
other in passing, but I'm gonna do it again in October. I mentioned it in the last podcast, which will
Dope.
release soon. But call the Connect Effect. Just again, there's gonna be
Shout out
vendors,
to you, bro.
apparel. People who do fashion. It's all creators. It's all
Love
about
that.
all creators. So
Love that. So you're doing the same thing, is bringing people together, letting them share their talents, giving them a space to meet new people. And
9 years ago, brother, I had an epiphany that there was talent out here and nobody is using it.
Yep.
And there's nobody that, you guys probably started. I didn't know who you guys were. And I'm sure there's other people that started it, but I didn't know at the time. So I knew later on when I started doing this that there was other resources, but I just had an epiphany that, some of my people were like, yo, this is fucking talented, bro. But like, where the fuck do they go from here?
right.
Right.
Well,
And now with everything, the technology that's there, like, you don't need to, you can travel for touring. You need to travel for touring.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
No, you do. Yeah, you do.
However, you can also go viral in your living room.
Yeah, you can.
So, you know what I mean?
You definitely
So
can.
that's what it is. Like, it's just like one of those things where it's like, you do need to travel for touring and stuff because, that's how you make money. But at the same time, you can market yourself in your living room. Or you can market yourself anywhere. Just create a platform just for people to get started, and
Yeah.
just brainstorm ideas and just come use us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what it was.
Love that, man.
So yeah, 9
Shout
years
out
ago.
to you,
I
bro.
can't believe
That's
it's been
dope.
9 years.
Wow.
It's
That's
crazy.
amazing. And I've
2015.
seen those actually on Facebook. I wanted to go to the last one. I couldn't make it.
Nah, don't even trip. I didn't even know who you were. I saw
you.
I saw your name on Instagram, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
It's B.Snair, baby.
But then
Let's go.
then you told me it was. I'm like, all right, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
I accept anybody who follows me, except if it's a forex trader or some scam shit. But
Yeah.
but
No, and I just I think I don't know if you sent it, but I just joined your group, Flow Free or Die
Yeah.
Entertainment.
yeah,
So that's dope. I'll
the fan
definitely-
club.
Yeah, man. So I'll definitely throw some posts in there for shows.
Yeah,
and
man,
stuff.
and I'll let you know about the event, bro. So
Check
if you want
stuff
to
out.
come through,
I would
whatever.
love to,
And,
man. Yeah.
I'm always tied into festivals and shit like that too. Like there's a couple things going on, but and I got the 14th. It's
Yeah, we got our own.
It's a multicultural festival,
Oh,
so it's
dude,
like
that's
different.
cool.
They're doing different cultures and performers and all that stuff. But
I played with 6 Star. Just met him that night.
okay,
Performed with him at Trend. Did not know him. Did not know his music, but he does like Latin reggaeton.
nice.
And I played drums for it. I have an electronic drum pad thing.
I gotta
so
tap
do,
in with
like,
him because
bongos and like congas. And
yeah, that's dope.
Dude, it was so much fun.
I gotta tap
So,
in with him
like,
because
I would.
well, sorry to interrupt. It's
No,
just 'cause
I interrupted.
I'm in
Go ahead.
charge of the Latino Hispanic segment of,
Oh,
the,
okay.
of the festival.
Dude, reach out.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
I gotta tap in,
His energy is
and
like
I gotta reach
amazing.
out to Term too. I would definitely love Term.
Yeah,
to be there, too.
man. No, that's cool. He would. I guarantee he would like to do that. And
What's his name? 6 Star. Where's he
6
from?
Star.
Concord.
no, he's Mass.
Mass.
Somewhere Mass.
Shout
yeah.
out to 6 Star.
Yeah,
if
man.
you're seeing
he,
this, tap in with me.
he watched me and Michael Murphy III. Shout out Michael Murphy III as well.
Good guy.
Perform our set at Trend, and he just came up after. He's like, "Yo, man, I love what you're doing." He's like, "I want you to play with me, like perform." And I was like, "Yeah, like when?" And he's like, "Tonight." And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
when are you playing? He's like, "I'm headlining like 30 minutes." And I'm like, "But I never heard
That's
your
great.
music
That's
before."
great.
Yeah,
So-
and he goes,
But that's so dope about music,
dude,
bro.
he was so cool about it too. And I was like, what do you want me to? He goes, just do your thing, man. He goes, you were doing the drums, guitar, whatever you want. So I wasn't super familiar, with with that style of music
Yeah, yeah.
even. So
It's
I
an
ran
upbeat-
outside quick. I'm like in the alley listening on Instagram, like to a couple of his tracks, and I was like, okay, now I kind of get the vibe. So I just like played drums. It was so much fun. He had
you
so
listen
much
to that
energy.
shit?
Yeah,
Like,
it was dope.
Literally met the guy at
Yeah.
the show, asked him to play with him, 30-minute set, didn't know his song, took a
Yeah, I
couple
didn't
minutes
know
to
any
learn
of the
the
songs.
rhythm
Yeah.
on the phone and play with him. That's crazy.
It was dope too.
That's what the fuck are you doing with your life?
We were
real
vibing,
shit,
dude.
like-
We were vibing. It was so much fun. So yeah, 6-star, dude. I appreciate the trust. Like that was so cool. And yeah, that's one of the things that music is just awesome, man. Like I've done that with other friends. It was a while back, but like we were playing Litherman's Brewery in Concord, and it was supposed to just be me and Etheric, and I was gonna like beatbox and loop some drums and stuff. And then one of our friends that was playing after us was a drummer, so we're like, "You want to play our set with us?" And he's like, "Well, I don't really know." And we're just like, "Just do it. No pressure. Like if you mess up, you mess up." He killed that shit. It was so cool.
That's fire.
And everyone that was there was like, "You need a drummer," like because I can only do so much in the moment by myself. I'm trying to play usually at least 3 instruments, so it's like I can't constantly change things. So to have a live drummer with some of the songs, and I could just focus on the guitar and the bass, or it was cool. It was different, and the people that like knew us at the time was like, that was really unique for what you normally do. That's unique, so that was cool, and so yeah, everyone's just cool, man, and you just gotta find the right people. You know?
Sir.
If you're
Yes,
around
sir.
people that suck, and you're around people that don't believe in you or support you or care about you, get out of there. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's just not. I don't know. It's not worth it.
So we're an hour and 8 minutes in,
All right.
which is okay. This is a podcast. There's no limit.
Okay.
So this is the last part of the segment.
Gotcha.
Do you want to play the music video, and then we'll give you about 2 minutes to say whatever you want to say as far as your socials, your promos, what you got going on?
Yeah, definitely want to
follow?
mention
All right,
some
cool.
shows coming up because that's pretty
Let's
crucial.
do
We
that.
got
So
some
let's play that last song with the music
All
video.
right. All right. Get that.
My bad.
No, you're good. It was still. All right. So here we go. This is Gutter End.
Gutter
and,
End.
This
All
was
right.
filmed by Boyd's World Productions. Our boy Studio 138 Productions did the editing and special effects, and it is Vincent Tesoro and B.Snair. Gutter End.
But
Following the rainbow trail, underneath the bridges where the wicked would prevail. A feeling that I know too well. Been praying up to anything, 'cause anything would help. Can I get through this? Feel like a mutant. I've been secluded and living like Buddhist. I've been accused of being abusive, losing and noose, and I'm slipping a few sips. Viewing the footage of my human ruins. The voodoo is brutal, is brewing the sewage. Stirring the pot of euphoria, I get the formula stewing. We could only dream of rising to existence. Pick apart the scenes of how and when to live there. Underneath the world I am rumbling, and everything I loved had a gutter end. And all of these vicious suspicions drifting up out of the murk. I feel like my soul's divided. What is life like without you? Deja vu. You're just a spine. Underneath the world I am crumbling, and everything I looked at a gutter ends. And all of these vicious suspicions that kill intuitions. I've been dismissing my premonitions.
That was Gutter End by B.Snair.
Vincent DeSoro.
Vincent DeSoro. He produced it, right? Everybody who
Yeah,
again,
so
give the credits, man.
yeah,
Give the
so
credits, man. Give
the music
credits.
on that one, so that was our first project initially. We had 4 tracks, and Vinny had bought some beats from trying to think of his name. Yeah, it's like a big guy, like a BeatStars type thing. You know what I'm saying? But they were like stripped back. It was basically like a little bit of like maybe some synths and keys, but mostly like drums and bass. So we ended up taking those songs and really making them our own, you know.
Okay.
And then at that point, I recorded all the guitar. We added more instruments, so all of that stuff I recorded, and then Vincent recorded his own vocals. And then we took that, and between Mikey and Shane, we got the mix right, and then it was mastered as well by Loud House Audio, which is Shane. So shout out to those guys again. You know, our music would not sound the way it does without those guys. So they are a huge and, you know, crucial part of our sound for as far as like, you know, albums and singles and all that goes for streaming and like the finished final masters. So, you know, that's been awesome. And then that was filmed by Boyd's World Productions. And then Studio 138, who's one of our real good friends, he did the editing, color grading, and like added some special effects that you'll see in there. And I think that's mostly everyone. Yeah, yeah. So
when you
there's
say
definitely
color grading, I know he spent hours doing that.
Yeah, man, and that was a hard one because if you watch it, like, you know, not to give it away too much, but like, well, whoever's listening already saw it, right? So that's cool. But, you know, it starts off outside, and then, like, we're in this tunnel, which is actually an old prison bunker. And it's very dark in there, and there's, like, a seance type vibe going on with candles. So, like, the lighting switches were pretty tough, and then back outside, back inside, you know. So those guys did an amazing job. And, again, we all just were like, we want to make this the best we can. So there's, like, no cutting corners or like second, like, you know, oh well, it's good enough. Like, no, let's like really give it our best, you know. So like with anything else, you know, it was a good learning experience. Looking back, I would do a few things probably differently, but like I'm really proud of what we made and happy with, you know, the video and the track. And yeah, just jumping back to like shout out Amir Max, because I think we might have skipped over him a little bit, but he's on Higher Ground, another phenomenal artist out of Massachusetts, and he's just out there doing his thing, man. He put out like a hardcore kind of like hard rock EP recently, and he's done like his own like solo R&B kind of project that's, in my opinion, more that style, but he produces himself as well, records himself, and, you know, so again, like, it doesn't take a team necessarily, but like when you have good people that share in your vision and goals and they want to support you and help you get there, and same for them, it's like, that's
Makes
the
it
best.
easier for
yeah, man, you know, it just does. It does. So
shout out to them.
Shout out to them and to everybody just working on our music, Vincent and I's projects. Like, definitely appreciate all you guys, man. It's been amazing. So
Shout out. Yeah, definitely.
yes.
Shout out to them again. Appreciate all your work. This is the last minute or two.
Yes.
I'm going to leave the mic for you. Tell them what you got going on. Tell them your socials. And I'm going to put the intro song on.
All right.
But the outro song. Excuse me. The outro song on.
I just want to say thank you again, Gordy, for having me, bro. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate
Thanks
you, bro.
for Crispy for getting me on here. And yeah, so we got a EP dropping in August. Be on the lookout for that. B.Snair, SNAIR, on all streaming platforms, social, Spotify, Apple Music, all that. And then Vincent Tesoro, TESERO. on all streaming platforms as well. We mentioned Amir Max. You can check him out, and the whole MoCG collective, MOCGs, on all socials. Upcoming shows, we got July 21st. We are opening for May Day, which we didn't even really get on that, but that was a huge moment. So the song Manifested Dreams that was played earlier ties right into that, man. Just like, don't give up, chase your dreams. I've been listening to Mayday for a long time. I really admire those guys, and I love their music. And now Vinny and I and Michael Murphy and I, 2 separate sets, are opening for them at Electric Haze in Worcester. Can buy tickets right off of my links on social media at the top of my pages, bios, all that. And then August 9th, we got MoCG night at Panucci's in Concord, New Hampshire. So that's going to be dope time. I heard maybe you could come out, get involved a little bit.
Yes. I got invited to that.
The whole collective is out. 9 artists with Vincent Totoro is going to perform with me as well. So we got, if I can run this off, we've got myself, Just for Kicks, Jay Faith, Life on the Rise, Chemic, Aaron Brown, 13 Ball, which also we're doing a celebration for him because he went through a rough accident recently too.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
But he's doing good, recovering, so we're going to celebrate him that night. Who'd I miss, Crispy? Oh, Michael Murphy III, of course. Shout out to Murph.
Shout out to Murph.
Sorry, I got in my head for a second thinking about Ian, but yeah. Anybody else that I miss?
Crispy
will be there. Crispy, I thought you were counting, bro.
Look, man, hey.
Well, we got Just for Kicks, Jay Faith, Life on the Rise, Chemic, Michael Murphy III, Aaron Brown, B.Snair, Vincent Tesoro. Oh, whoever I'm forgetting is going to be so mad at me. Who is it?
This earlier too.
Yeah. The whole collective will be there. No, I said Chemic for a few times. Maybe we got everybody. If I missed you, man, don't be mad. I'm so sorry. MoCG, August 9th, May Day, July 21st, Electric Haze in Worcester. The MoCG show is at Panucci's Concord.
I'm going to definitely be there. I got invited. I got to go.
Yes, please.
Over there.
It's going to be
I'm definitely going to rock out.
It's going to be a fun night.
I want to thank
9
you
PM.
for sharing your incredible story. Thank you for coming out. I know this is not going to be the last time we're going to meet up. Yeah, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on. Definitely be on the lookout for Flow Free or Die Entertainment.
Hey.
Got a lot of stuff coming out.
And that's our show.